guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Erica Poppy here. If you are new, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how I created this look with the new Kylie Cosmetics Burgundy Extended Palette. This palette is absolutely gorgeous and I had a blast playing with it today. It blends like a dream and I really enjoyed how the look turned out. So if you guys would like to see how I achieved this look, and just keep on watching. First, I'm just gonna add a little bit to my brows. I just want to be able to see the basic line of what I'm gonna be doing. It's kind of underlining with this Stila pen. Really need another one, it's starting to dry out. I use a Too Faced Born This Way in Vanilla on my eyelid just to blanket out and prime for the eyeshadow. I'm going to bring this up as close to the eyebrow as I can get. Right now I'm just using a Huda Beauty sponge because both of my beauty blenders are sitting in front of me dirty, and this thing is a little bit more dense. It's nice, it reminds me of Real Techniques, but it does soak up a lot of product compared to a beauty blender. I literally feel like I have to go back in. I'm just going to take a little bit of this concealer on some sort of flat angled brush and kind of carve out the brow a little bit. Laura Mercier dual setted brush. I'm just going to use the sketch set. I'm going to go back to the brows after I do the eyes and the foundation and kind of get that top looking right because I didn't fill in the top yet. I just kind of did the arch. But first we're just going to go into eyeshadow and I'm going to set my lid really quickly. I'm going to buff out any creases that have formed. And then I'm just going to go in with a big fluffy brush. This is a Morphe M535. Now I'm going to go into the new Kylie Cosmetics Burgundy Extended Palette. So I actually was supposed to get a peach and an extended, but they accidentally sent me two burgundies. So I'm probably going to have a giveaway going on. So stay tuned. These are the beautiful shades. I think first off, I'm just going to go into this nice transition shade right here. And I'm just buffing this into the high crease. And it is okay if you drag it down to the lid. I always like to kind of drag my brush in, especially when it's a fluffy brush like this, and kind of diffuse the lines even further, especially when you have a palette where the transition is just kind of deep to begin with. So far so good though. This shade blended beautifully. Really not so sure if you guys can see. The lighting in this room right now is atrocious. I know. I really need to get new lights ASAP because this is not acceptable. Next, I really kind of want to go in with this shade right here as well as this shade. I think I'm going to start with the brown and then work a little bit of that burgundy in there. I'm going to take a more angled brush for this. It's still fluffy. It's a Morphe B39. So you can see it's slanted on one side. I'm going to take that mainly on the tip of the brush. Just knock off the excess. And kind of go more low into the crease and just build intensity. And this I'm probably only bringing halfway in, maybe 3/4. Just gonna go in really quickly with that first shade and just go over everything. Now I kind of want to go in with a little bit of this burgundy. Now these two shades look kind of similar in the pans, but this one is more on the warm side. This one's definitely more of a true, just reddish burgundy. This one's a little bit more of a burnt shade. So the burnt shade is what I'm going to go in with. I'm going to use a Morphe M433, and this is just one of those very similar to the last brush. It's a pinched crease brush, but it's a little bit smaller and less fluffy than the last one. And this one I just want to really get in there and get precise and kind of create some outer V definition. This shade looks pigmented AF. So I'm going very low in the crease and just wiggling that brush. I'm also going to stop that shade about halfway. I'm super impressed by her shadows, and this is nothing new. Her formula's always been bomb, but I have a lot of dry patchiness on this lid, Like I can see actual flaky skin and it's still blending perfectly over top, and that's like very rare, I feel. I'm just gonna go in with that Original First lightest transition brush and just buff over the very outer edges and make sure that everything is still seamless. I don't want to go too far down because I don't want to lose that intensity. I really want to go in with this bronzy shade down here. I feel like this is super like basic, but it just makes me so happy. I feel like the color selection in this palette is really great, and I feel like the way they set it up is very user friendly. You've got like, to get the bronze next to the orange transition, a more pinky transition next to the pinky purple in the palette, and then you've got all of your burgundies on the top half of this side right here, and then you've got all of your purpley shades. So I actually have quite a few Kylie products in front of me, and this is the wet set from the last year's holiday collection. This is called Gingerbread over here, and that's what I'm going to go in with on the lid. And for this, I'm just going to use this Luxie 207 medium angled shader. And this formula from her is definitely leaning cream. I did pull out a bunch of Kylie products today because I feel like I just get so like stuck in my little box of trying new makeup out on camera or using the same 5 products that I use every time I do my makeup. And it's a really dangerous thing to do because you never really get to mess around with stuff that you've had and used once. And I don't know, I was just feeling in a Kylie mood today, so. I have hooded lids and my hooded lids are uneven. So what I do is I just go far above my crease, and what I'm doing today is just absolutely no sort of even soft cut crease. I'm just bringing the shimmer up to where my heart desires, and this really opens my eye up instead of closing it off where my hooded lids end, which are not in the same place, if that makes sense. Each eye is like shaped completely different. So this is kind of how I trick the eye into not noticing that when you look at my face. I'm gonna go in with this no name, very old, just kind of a fluffy shader, pack around brush, and we're gonna go into that bronzy shade from the Burgundy Extended palette. I think it's called Morocco. This shade right here. And this fluffy brush does really pick up a good amount of product, but we'll see if I have to spray my brush once I go in. This is a really like beautiful shade. It actually looks much more neutral on the eye than it does in the pan. Like it's not as warm as I expected it to be, but that's completely fine. It's a very neutral bronze. Cream highlight and gingerbread underneath is definitely helping this shadow adhere. I just feel like layering in makeup is everything. Like you have to slowly build to get the most beautiful desired effect. And then I'm going to go back in with the brush that has the darkest on it, which is my M433, just the residual on the brush. And I'm just going to buff those two together. So we will come back to shadow on the lower lash line once I'm done with like foundation and concealer and all of that good stuff, because otherwise it's just kind of like in the way for me. Now I'm going to go into some gel liner, and I think what I'm going to do is try out this Pretty Vulgar gel pot. For this I'm just going to take my Morphe M160-1/8. That's a pretty intense name right there. But it's just a very, very precise brush. I'm gonna go into this gel pot. It looks like a never-ending black hole in there, but ooh, we shall see. I want to do something that's really gonna give me almond eyes and a cat eye. I'm even gonna cut my lashes in half and try to just really accentuate the outer half of my eyes today. As you can see, I did most of the depth on the outer half for that reason. And that's literally as far in as I'm gonna go. That's where I'm stopping. So I'm just going back in with that same Laura Mercier sketch side of this dual brush, and I'm using that Too Faced concealer. This is what I love doing my eyes before my foundation. I'm just gonna take that sponge. I'm just gonna throw on some Unlashed Volume and Curl Mascara by Wander Beauty. It doesn't really matter. I'm putting on falsies anyways, but I am gonna do half falsies. Now I'm going in with my trusty The Silk Canvas Primer by Tatcha. I feel like this really helps me prevent breakouts, and it really just acts as a second layer of moisturizer on my skin. So I've been really thoroughly enjoying using this every single time that I do my makeup, and I still barely dented it. So I would say it's worth the hefty price tag. And today I was gonna try to use the Fenty Beauty foundation again. This foundation is in the shade 260, their Pro Filter Soft Matte. I loved this the first time I tried it. This review has the most views out of any video I've ever posted on my YouTube channel. But I feel like as my skin got really, really dry, because it got even more dry than when I originally filmed and tested this out, this stopped working for me for a while. So it's been quite a minute, and my skin's still on the drier side, but I feel like it's kind of gotten a little bit more hydrated and healthy recently, so I'm going to test it out again. I'm just shaking it really well because it's been sitting forever. I also have talked with a few people about this foundation, and a lot of us have come to the consensus that it made us break out. So that's a really unfortunate bummer, because I don't really care how good a foundation is. If it's gonna make me break out, I'm not gonna wear it. And I set out like that foundation last night because I was like planning out this look in my head, and I totally was planning on self-tanning and then didn't get to. So this is my self-tan shade, and we're just gonna make it work. I remember now, of course, now that I have the foundation on my skin and it's too late, that this was one you had to work in sections because it dries ridiculously fast. So don't mind me if I'm zooming through this.
Wait to eat, probably.
Yeah, I gotta wait a second.
Is that cool? I got salt and pepper and lime.
Thank you. So I'm just gonna go in with I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Born This Way in vanilla under my eyes. Hopefully it's not too light. Yeah, that might be too light. We might have to mix. I'm mixing that with a few very small dots of the Huda Beauty concealer. And this is in the shade Graham Cracker. And I'm just gonna use the Huda Beauty sponge, how appropriate. These two concealers combined are a match in under eye perfection. I wanted to do a very subtle nose contour. I grabbed some new shades of the LA Girl Pro Concealers, and this is the shade Medium Beige. So I want to test it out and see if it's like a better shade for me. It doesn't exactly look like it's going to show up through the concealer that I typically put over top. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of this Kylie concealer in the shade Almond. This is way warmer, so I'm going to be very light-handed with it. And then I'm going to take the Kylie concealer in Gypsum, and I'm going to put this along this side of my nose. I just tapped out my under eye creases, and I'm quickly setting the under eye. I'm just going to take this little Morphe M501 and wipe away that powder so that I don't look too grandma. I'm going to quickly go in with a few cream products before I set my face. I want to use this Mega Glow Wet n Wild Cheek and Lip Tint in Crush Upon a Time. I don't know if these are still available, but they are one of the best cream blushes that I've ever found. So I'm actually going to wipe this onto the bottom of this sponge, and then I'm going to just press it lightly on my hand to make sure that I'm not dispensing too much product onto my face. And I'm putting this mainly on the apples but dragging it back. This blush is intense and it's so beautiful though. Like, it's got that pigment, but it's also got that natural sheen that just makes your skin look like skin. So I really have been loving these. I like rediscovered them recently, and I can't put them down. There's 3 different shades that I have. This one's just like a very intense peach, but I thought it looked beautiful with the burgundy eye. This is a great thing to use if you just feel like your blushes always fade way too much throughout the day and you can't get them to kind of stay vibrant. And don't worry if it looks very intense right now, because once I set that face, you're not going to see as much color. Since this is a cream, I'm going to go in with it right now. And I think that the shade I'm going to use is called Sweet Dream. It's just a kind of gold champagne. And I'm also going to take this right on my beauty blender. I'm going to try to use the side of it. So then I'm just going to tap a little bit off on the back of my hand so that it's not too harsh. And then just go in. I don't know. These might need more of a finger application and then maybe buff it with a beauty blender. Yep, that seems to work a lot better. So these want to be applied with the fingers only. So that's how I have to do it today. These really do scare me though, because I remember using them like, I don't know, last winter when they came out, and it like picked up my foundation. But I figured the Fenty would be a good match for that because Fenty ain't going nowhere. Now I kind of want to set my face. I think for that I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Powder and Pound Cake and a very, very, very fluffy brush. I'm going to go in with this Morphe x Jaclyn Hill JH06 brush just because it's super fluffy and it'll fit in all the crevices of the face really nice. I prefer fluffy brushes for setting the face because they don't grab your foundation and pick it up as much. This is the Hourglass Luminous Bronze Light Ambient Lighting Bronzer. It's beautiful. It does have a little amount of shimmer. I'm going to use this Morphe R7 brush. So this leaves a beautiful glow on the skin that just makes it look like skin, even if you've applied a crap load of bronzer and powders. Okay, just bronzed up the neck real quick so that it matches the body. That's always important. Now I want to go in with some highlights and some blush. First, the blush is the Kylie blush. I told you guys I'm kind of sticking to the Kylie theme today. This is in the shade X-Rated, and I'm going to have to be super careful because obviously we already got a lot of blush going on. So thankfully her blushes aren't too intense. They're buildable, but they're not like straight off the bat crazy. Just going to gently go over where we already put that blush, temples and all, dabbing it off on my hand first before I go on the face. Good thing I'm bronzed today because this blush is poppin'. Now I want to go in with a little bit of this Salted Caramel highlighter by her. I heard she's going to reformulate this and make it like even more pigmented. I saw her talk about it on her Snapchat, I feel like, a while ago. I'm super excited. Okay, this is like a gorgeous color, but it does take a lot to build these up. So this one's going to be my base, and this is kind of going all over that highlight region. I actually love how this looks over top of the cream we put down. Oh my gosh. I'm happy with the way that looks. Now we're going to go in with the big guns, and I found these at my local CVS, and they are these Wet n Wild pigments, loose pigments. They said limited edition. Mary and Carol. I need a degree to get into here. I'm just going to take a little bit of this Carol shade and place it in the lid. It does look a little bit, let me see. Ooh, no, that might be perfect. Holy crap. That is fucking beautiful. This is Mary, and she's a bop. I'm kind of dipping into both. And I feel like I should spray my brush for this. Oh, it's magic. It's so beautiful. I just like want to like keep piling it on, but at some point I'm going to start looking crazy. And I think that point has already come. Just being honest with you guys, the line down my nose is like always Jouer Citrine because it never does me dirty, and I've had other highlighters remove the foundation off my nose. She's glowing today. She's really doing it. We have to finish the brows. Yeah. And I gotta do the lower lash line real quick, and then we will be on our way to done. For the brows, I'm gonna use Morphe Micro Brow Pen, I believe it's called, in Biscotti. Lightly fill in the top end of the brow. Snatched. And I kind of want to add a highlight to my brow bone. We're gonna take this tiny, tiny, tiny brush, and I'll use some of this pigment. Gosh, these pigments are beautiful. They were like $4 each. Like, they're honestly not too glittery, and it's kind of surprising because it's the holiday season, and I feel like anything limited edition for the holiday season is probably going to be straight up glitter, but these look wet on the skin. And blending that. Once we've got everything looking the way we want it, I'm going to take brow gel. Where's my brow gel? I've been really enjoying the Morphe Brow Setting Gel recently. It's very simple, but the brush is nice. It's like skinny, but long on one side, short on the other. Now I need to go in with some bottom shadow. Luxie 141 Mini Round. Very tiny little pencil. And I'm going to use that, I believe it's called Brick Shade. It's So on the outer half. Apparently Beau's very upset that Daddy left. Then since we're at the end of the look and I'm not going to have to use this for concealer anymore, I'm going to add another layer of dimension, and I'm going to go in with this like very purpley shade. I believe it's called Bordeaux. And I'm going to pack this along the very outer lash line, as close to the waterline as possible. The fact that it has concealer on it might throw a lot of people off, but honestly it makes it where the fallout is less, which is great when you're doing something like this at the end of your makeup. I'm just going to go back in really quick with that brick shade. Make sure there is no harsh lines. Taking a little bit of those two pigments mixed on this same little tiny brush, and I'm spraying that with setting spray so that it's not going to fall all over my face. And holy balls, this is so pretty. Pulled out an oldie but a goodie. This is the Morphe 9C palette. I don't even know if this is still available, but this shade right here is so bomb for contour. So I'm just gonna quickly, I just powdered my nose to make sure that the oils don't make it super harsh. So I'm gonna go do lips off camera and apply these beautiful Salon Perfect 650 lashes that I'm gonna trim, and I will be right back.
Your makeup looks really good.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, I'm back, and this is the finished look. For a lip, I used Candy K Lip Liner by Kylie Cosmetics to stick with the Kylie theme, and then I mixed a little bit of Angel along the perimeter of my lips and Candy K liquid lipsticks for a nice, beautiful pink ombre lip to go with the eye. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Please leave me a thumbs up if you did, and please leave suggestions for future looks in the comments down below. Subscribe if you aren't already, and hit that bell so that you get a notification every time I upload a video. I've been uploading like twice a week recently, so yay! I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in my next video. Oh, and check the description box for any questions you have about what I use. Bye!